Hey guys, it's Yodi here with a new Demon Hunter guide. It's the second out of 3 parts of the Rift Guardian survival guide. In this one, I will be covering the 8 bosses mentioned in the introduction. I will go over the important animations and abilities you should watch out for, their elemental damage type, how to deal with most of them, and rate them according to their difficulty based on my personal experience. Starting off with Burundi, he has several special attacks which you'll have to watch out for. Collapse Ceiling. He will sometimes cast this physical ability that, unlike Sandshaper's one, will not shake your screen. Generally, you have a split second to move out of the targeted area in order to take no damage, by either using Volt or simply smoke screening the damage. He sometimes teleports on top of you and tries to melee you. Good news is his attack animation is really long, so you have a lot of time to move before taking any damage. He can also summon a couple of adds, this ability being the hardest thing about him, since the lower he goes in health, the more adds he will spawn. All of his abilities deal physical damage. Overall, I'd rate this as a medium difficulty boss, since the adds can prove to be quite the annoyance the further you go into the fight, since they can and will surround you and also take time to kill, time which could be spent on the boss instead. Then we have Stonesinger. Yes, before you ask, I had to include him too. Why is he even a boss? No one knows, but even so, thought I'd go over a few things that he can actually do. First we have melee, which doesn't bother you at all. Then he can clone himself several times. You can still distinguish him from his clones by the health bar on top of the screen, since the fake ones have a different, and by that I mean simpler bar design. Deflect attacks. He sometimes does this just as any other Sandweller type of mob, and will deflect your direct attacks when he has the dusty circle surrounding him. Collapse Ceiling, again shown by a circle reporting the area it will do damage in, just move out of it ASAP. His abilities are physical. I'd rate this as an easy to deal with boss. This is the boss you want to get every single time. He has low HP, no dangerous abilities, and he's simply a complete pushover. Next up we have the man Carver, which is basically the butcher on steroids. This guy has quite a few abilities, out of which most of them can be dangerous and can easily catch you off guard. He can cast walls, mostly as a protection tool around him, really annoying for ranged classes since it blocks out almost all your damage. He has a charge which will have its path shown in a fiery breath. Move out of it ASAP. He will charge in that general direction, stunning himself when he reaches an obstacle. A conal spear attack. Depending on how close you are, he can do this instant attack. Sadly, there's no warning sign, so just stay as far as possible. The get over here attack. You can see his animation when he points at you, then shoots his hook in order to pull you close to him and gib you. Just step sideways when you see the animation play. A fire circle attack, which is fire damage by the way. You have a second to move out of the area he will mark on the ground before the circle ignites and starts doing damage. Just move out of it ASAP. Some of his attacks are fire, some physical. I'd rate this as a medium to hard boss, depending on where you'll be fighting him, due to the simple fact that you'll need to sit at max range most of the fight, and his wall-in ability can be extremely annoying, since it will act as a shield against your damage. Next up, Veracity, which is basically a GOM clone. This is a pretty easy boss overall. The fact that he's a fatty moving extremely slow can only be a plus, especially for lightning UE slowball builds. Anyway, onto his abilities then. Gas Cloud. He will do an animation as if he's shaking or spazzing out, spawning a gas cloud over at your current location. As soon as you see him play this animation, move somewhere else. He can spawn 2 small slimes which are really easy to avoid or kill. And that's about it. Just be sure to fight him in an open space to be able to avoid the poison gas cloud damage, or if not possible, keep retreating to have new unaffected grounds to move to. I'd rate this as an easy to medium boss depending on where you'll be fighting him.
Infernal Maiden. The Maiden is quite a simple boss as well. She has a few abilities, out of which some can be annoying. teleport, which she will sometimes cast, following up with a melee slash attack. Be sure to quickly move away after she teleports on you. She will jump, do a flip, land and spawn spiraling fireballs which will fly out of her in a 360-degree circle, just vault or smoke screen at the right time to avoid the damage. Spinning attack with mortars, which sadly she didn't cast while I fought her here, like any other elite casting mortar fix. Dodge the circles and you are in the clear. All her special attacks are fire. I'd rate this as an easy boss overall.
Then we have a Scandiel. This boss is a somewhat modified copy of the Corpse Raiser mob. His abilities are as follows. Arcane Enchanted, which means he will spawn arcane lasers just like any other elite sporting this affix. Wave, which spawns ads, which aren't really dangerous and are pretty easy to kill. His spell abilities are arcane combined with physical. I'd rate this as an easy boss. There's no unavoidable damage going on here, so no reason to die. Then we have Ember. This guy is the Morlu Incinerator mob, which everyone hates, made into a Rift Guardian. He can be quite annoying considering his multiple teleports and other abilities. Teleport. He will use this quite often to move to a new location, either on top of you or far away from you. Then he has a Fire Meteor, marked by a red circle, move out of it ASAP. He also spawns Shamans and Suicidal Maniacs, which should be killed as fast as possible. The Shamans will shoot 3 fireballs in a frontal cone. Small note here, the lower he gets on HP, the more meteors he will summon. All his attacks are fire. I'd rate this as a medium to hard boss, more out of frustration of him teleporting all over the place and avoiding your damage. Last, we have Rime. This is Ember's cold equivalent and has quite a few different attacks which shouldn't pose that much of an issue though. Just like Ember, he can teleport to a new location either on top of you or far away. He has a large circle of AoE cold damage which should be moved out of right away. He also has several small circles which, just like the large one, do cold damage inside them, so move out of those as fast as possible. His last attack is a conal attack made out of 3 frost balls which follow a pretty specific animation, so be on the lookout for that and either vault out of the path right away or smokescreen. All his attacks are cold. Overall, I'd rate this as a pretty easy boss that's quite predictable. This was pretty much it guys for part 2, I'll see you in the next one. Hope you enjoyed.